Hi, so today I'm building a DIY room freshener but with a twist. I'm calling it a useless invention, and without any further ado, let's get going. You know what? It all started 2 years ago when I wanted to make a DIY room freshener so that my room smells nice. So, what I did was I went to YouTube, saw a lot of these videos, and I was like, let's make it. And eventually I made it, and it was pretty cool. But then the issue was after some time the top layer dries off, and to make it smell nice again you have to stir it. So basically you have to stir it every 10 to 15 minutes so that we get a nice fragrance. But I'm too lazy to do that. So I thought, why not let's throw some motors and Arduinos and make something that can rotate it so that I can prove that I'm not lazy. Right? So that was the whole point behind making this. For the first step, let's make the DIY room freshener. It's pretty quick. So we will start by adding a good amount of salt to the jar. Secondly, we'll be adding the fragrance. You can choose the fragrance of your choice, like maybe fabric softener. And since I like lemons, I'm adding dishwash liquid here. After this, you can add the favorite essential oil of your choice. Be careful while choosing the fragrance so that it kind of goes with your previous one. So here I am adding lemongrass oil. Finally, you can toss in a few pieces of cloves. Give it a quick mix and you're good to go. I wish you guys could smell it because the fragrance is really nice. So this is how I did the initial testing of what we want to build. I took a piece of wood. It's basically a small cut in ice cream stick. And then I had a plastic BO motor in which I made a slit, and then I inserted the wooden stick inside that. Then I gave it full 5-volt power and tried to see like what could have happened. And well, accidentally I made a whipping machine. So I knew that this thing was not gonna work. I need to think of something else. Okay, so to make this we have to solve 3 problems. One is to make some structures so that all the salt mixes evenly and not just a small portion of it. Secondly, we need to find some way so that we can keep the motor on the top of it and it does not fall inside the jar. Third, we have to reduce the speed of the motor. So we'll find some way to fix all of this. So let's move on to the first one. So to make the structure, I measure the width and height of the tool that is required. And then the thing that I'm using right now is small thin sticks that are used to stir coffee. So now I cut them according to the required shape and height that I measured earlier and arrange them into the shape that I want. Now what I do is I put them on a napkin so that I don't ruin my base, and then I stick them together using super glue. And this is how it looks finally. So for part 2 we have to build something that would keep the motor stable. So for this I used an ice cream stick. Basically I would be keeping my motor on the top of ice cream stick. Then I made some markings so that I can cut it from the sides as well as 2 holes in the middle. It can, not move sideways and hold it somehow. So for making the holes I used this mini drill machine. So after making the holes, the wooden sticks fitted very nicely. And then I tried test the previous structure that we made for rotating it, and I found that we did a little bit wrong in the measurements because this jar is not straight. It's a little conical from the sides. The option I had was to grind the edges. Okay, so when I tried to assemble it together, I realized that it won't turn because it was kind of getting obstructed. So again I had to grind off the top parts so that it can rotate easily. And only when I was thinking like everything is going great, I realized I made a big blunder. So when I was sticking everything together with silicone glue, I realized that I glued it upside down because on the bottom part I had made some special curves so that our rotatory can move easily. So I had to take everything off and glue it all together again. And I thought like, okay, no worries, I will do it again. And even after doing it again, I made another blunder. So this time it was upright, but I already glued the motor to the top of wooden stick. And I forgot to attach the special rotatory piece that we built earlier. And no matter what I did, it did not go inside it. So now I made sure that I put the rotatory piece and then glued everything together. So to reduce the speed of the motor, we'll be using a potentiometer. It's basically a variable resistor that will reduce the voltage. Then we'll connect it to an Arduino. For that we'll have to write the code and upload it. All the diagrams, connections, code, everything you will find on a link in the description. So don't worry about that. It's very simple one. And after doing all this, our useless invention is finally made. So if you have been watching till this point, thank you. Like, it really means a lot to me. I don't think so I'll be making anything useless in near future. So you'll find me making more such cool projects that are more useful and practical. So I hope you'll be back for that. Till then, see you. Bye bye.